and the media in this country.
The darkest recesses of your industry really laid bare this week, Paul. I mean, something had to give, didn't it?
Indeed, but what a loss. I mean, it's going to be, I mean, the biggest loss, I think, is that we're going to lose, well, I mean, I've always said that I've just tried to write articles in a truthful way, and, you know, what better source of getting the truth is to listen to someone's messages. Now, that might sound frivolous, but, you know, several celebrities have called us evil and scum, whereas all we've ever tried to do...
But what right have you got to listen to their messages? What possible right?
I'll tell you what, let's bring in Steve Coogan, shall we?
I have to say, I think you're a walking PR disaster for the tabloids, because you don't come across in a sympathetic way. You come across as a sort of risible individual who is symptomatic of everything that's wrong with the tabloids. Well, because your attitude is, we're just selling newspapers, or we're investigative journalists, we're trying to tell the truth. You're not uncovering corruption. You're not uncovering, you know, bringing down institutions that are inherently corrupt. You're finding out who you're finding out. You're just trying to find out who's sleeping with who.
Yeah, but if it's about selling. It's about selling newspapers. A free press and a decent democracy. You need a free press.
You've nothing to do with a free press or a decent democracy.
Absolute garbage. You're hiding behind.
So if this silences the press and we're no longer able to catch politicians with their trousers down, fiddling their expenses, that's a big loss.
You're not. It's the whole.
Just let Paul answer. Go on.
If this brings about a law that silences the press so we can no longer catch politicians lying and cheating to the electorate who voted them in, I've always said you were a small price to pay.
Why I'm not a politician? Why go after me? Millie Dowler's relatives aren't politicians. Why go after them? It's morally bankrupt, and you are morally bankrupt. The whole notion of press freedom is a smokescreen for selling newspapers with tittle-tattle, and you hide behind this whenever it comes up. It's absolute BS.
Yeah, but you've got a publicist. You spend your entire life trying to get in the newspapers, trying to get in magazines, trying to get in movies.
No, I don't give interviews to the tabloids. I don't do it because I'm interested in writing and entertaining the public with the comedy that I write. With the comedy that I write.
How many Murdoch movies have you been in?
Listen, I deal with Rupert Murdoch already. I deal with his
organisation. So why is it such a great day?
I'm talking about tabloid newspapers and the muckraking that you do.
So you take the money, you take £5 million quid a movie, and then you bleat about someone. Always listen to our messages.
Let me just ask you something. Let me just ask you something. If these means were used, for example, to hunt down, you know, Ian Huntley instead of the Soham girls' families, would we find that less morally reprehensible? I put it to you, the answer is probably yes, right?
You could see there are occasionally, very occasionally, public interest cases, but most of the time, no.
Yeah, well, most of the
but isn't the point that as soon as you legislate...
These guys just phone-tapped anybody they could think of.
Do you know what? I'll say what the news of the world... Even something when it looks laudable, like Sarah's Law, something like that, there's nothing to do with some moral imperative on the behalf of the tabloids.
I was very proud of naming and shaming. I was the journalist who did it.
It's all to do with selling newspapers. If you do something laudable to selling newspapers or something despicable, it's about selling newspapers. There's no ethics at all.
However strongly you feel about this, do you look at this inquiry or the possibility of regulation go, hurrah, it's all going to be fine?
No, but I think it may temper the behaviour. I think what's happened is the broadsheets have colluded to some extent with the tabloids because they think that the price of a free press is letting these people shovel crap. And the thing is, you don't have to do that. You can have a free press and you can regulate the press.
What's your fear? What's your fear, Paul?
The world is going to be a better place because we'll no longer be able to expose silly celebrities for taking coke and cheating on their wives, which, to be honest, I always found a bit of fun. And, you know...
So what are you saying? The world will be a better place if you are regulated?
But is that in the public interest?
The only good thing about...
Wait a second. Sat outside my house. This guy sat outside my house. It's just a risible, deplorable...
You were in the green room talking about the number of new houses you bought this year. We all feel terribly sorry for you.
OK, what do you think is going to actually change? What do you think is actually going to change in the tabloid press from, you know, this year to next?
Well, there's going to have to be regulation. There's no doubt. I mean, the idea that it's going to be a voluntary
system... But this is illegal anyway. This is illegal. Phone hacking's illegal. Why do you need Ofcom?
But look at...
or whatever, a regulator, you know.
Well, if you look at broadcasting, I mean, these guys who sit here saying, oh, well, it's the end of the freedom of the press, it's nonsense. Broadcasting has always been regulated. And broadcasters do, I would say, a much greater job and a much better job than half of the tabloid press in serious issues. What he's talking about is just tittle-tattle.
But you know what? There are a lot of times when the news of the world gets an amazing scoop and it exposes the thing that everyone wanted to know about, and then everyone's praising them, and the fake sheikh did this and we brought down them. Nobody complains about it then.
Very occasionally. Hitler was nice to dogs.
Yeah, and exactly, that's why we don't have a Hitler in this country. We have nice politicians, like nice Mr. Clegg, because the bad guys get exposed. They walk into the media spotlight, and we immediately catch them out for being corrupt.
When did you
last expose a bad guy? You don't do that. You shovel SI.
Yeah, OK, so we shovel that to sell 5 million copies. So when the one good story comes along, 5 million people read it,
Paul,
and that means...
can I ask you something?
I didn't realise you're on a moral crusade, I'm sorry.
You keep coming on, and you're good to do so, but you seem like a slightly tortured soul. Are you questioning what you do now more than you did in the past? Are you going to stop doing it?
Well, no, I've always been a journalist, and I've always tried to write articles that titillate, entertain, and shine a bit of light onto the grubby, shallow lives that some people who present themselves in a completely different light.
Can I just say that I've spent most of my life being a journalist, and I'm nothing to do with him, and nor are most
I don't think you're
journalists.
fit to be called a journalist. I think there are some excellent journalists, but you're not a journalist. You know you're not, deep down.
I just
you
keep
keep trying
the
to
journal
justify
of the day.
yourself. You keep being wheeled out this whole week because no one else can be bothered to.
Do you think the public is still with you?
Okay, There's a load of celebrities are just jumping on the back of this Hugh Grant. Haven't done a movie for 2 years.
Celebrities were the people. Your newspaper and a lot of other tabloids and a lot of the right-wing press did not pursue this story at all. It was a one-column piece in the Sun the other day.
Steve Coogan, just respond to that, because there are people saying, you know what, there are a lot of celebs out there who do court the press, who do love the paps.
I'm not jumping on a bandwagon. I'm not going to make any money out of this. If I'm lucky, I'll cover my costs. If they give me any damages, I'll give it to some victim support group. I'm not interested in money. I'm not interested in the publicity.
But the wider question is about using the tabloid press to put yourself out there. I mean, a lot of people do that.
Do you know what? If the News of the World never wrote another word about me, I'd be delighted. Or its successor, the Sun on Sunday. I don't court them at all.
Yeah, you do. You walk down a red carpet and you pose at the cameras, and the News of the World photographers.
Last question: is the public still with you on this?
Well, sadly not. But you've got to get rid of the emotion so you can think about it rationally. And the world, Britain will be a poorer place without it.
All right, we've got to end it there. Thank you all very much. Thanks for coming in. Well, the revelations about the